The new Jujutsu Kaisen manga episode might be the best we have seen in the manga yet. And it actually breaks Sukuna's character and his world view completely, making me think that Yuji Itadori is actually making him insecure about what he believes the world to be. Let's talk about it. Subscribe to the channel for more content of this, and let's get into it. So in this new chapter, we got an insane amount of yapping from Itadori, essentially telling Sukuna how he views life and what he values. And he essentially forced him to do it by, spoilers obviously, get him into his domain expansion. But the most interesting thing about this entire episode is that Sukuna actually engages with it. And this is very surprising, because if you know about Sukuna, you know that he doesn't give a fuck about any of this. This is a very good encapsulation of Sukuna, of course. I never thought that someone would meet my expectations. I will eat them when I want. I will kill them if they are a burden. I will play with them if I find them fun. I only live under my own terms, and not being able to measure it is everyone's problem but mine. So essentially, he doesn't care. He cares about himself, about his pleasure, about him being the strongest, and that's all he cares about. He's been secure about this in his entire life. This is the way that he lives his life, and this is the way that he has actually been happy. Now, he did get bored, I guess, in the Heitan era, and that's why he started, becoming fingers to essentially fight other people that were more interesting eventually in the future. But overall, he seemed pretty content with his life. But now, with Yuji being a person that is almost, maybe not as powerful as him, but he's actually finding ways to actually defeat him in the manga right now. He's being irritated by this, because Yuji does not believe in this. He's the complete opposite of this. He cares about people, about saving them, about having meaningful relationships with them, and caring about them. The exact opposite that Sukuna believes. And you can see it in this panel a long time ago, by the way. He gets irritated by this, and he doesn't get it. Why? He's thinking, how is this brat so powerful while being the complete opposite as me? And why am I getting irritated? And I think it's because he's actually thinking that maybe there's another ways in life to actually, be able to be as powerful as he is. There's other ways of living life. And this makes him be like, man, maybe I actually have made a mistake. And I think, of course, back then in here, it was way too early to tell, even though they were kind of hinting at that. But now in the new episode, I think it's completely clear to me. In this chapter, Yuji tries to show to Sukuna all the things in life that are valuable. Memories, people, and little things, like all things that he's gonna show to him later in the chapter, that are not just strength and killing and just pleasurable things. And the very interesting thing is that Sukuna actually listens to him. It may be part of the actual domain of expansion power, but he does seem to be engaged. The first thing he talks about here is about his a friend of his grandpa dying and going to his funeral in this little town. And of course about the fact that, well, when he came back to this town where he lived back in the day, used to be way more populated, and now it seems like an empty place. And he found it weird. I wouldn't say it was a ghost town, but it did surprise me how empty the place felt. But actually, then he says, I guess I wasn't surprised. If I'm being honest, I kind of expected it. It didn't really shake me. So even though he just says that, he instantly realizes, no, I was lying. I thought I believed I would be surprised, because that's probably what I would, what you would expect, what you would feel when your hometown is empty, but I actually didn't really care. And of course, look at that. Sukuna is actually listening. And we're gonna go back to this specific panel and this specific thing here, of course, because it's very significant and Sukuna actually considering it. But the next thing they talk about is flowers. Yuji talks about this being a morning flower, and and Sukuna actually says, no, it's a hydrangea, you moron. And then start talking about, oh wait, how would you know this? And he's like, well, it was on the Fushiguro's Megumi's memories. And it's like, well, how would you not have known about this, about my memories? I didn't waste my time going through each of pieces of meaningless drivel, Sukuna says. They catch crayfish. They do so much random stuff. He actually engages with Yuji about this stuff. He's actually humoring him. He does kind of get a bit tired. He says, "Is this going anywhere?" But he's like, "Oh, keep humoring me. I'll explain to you at the end, right?" They do archery together. They go talk about the literal Santa at the end. But then Sukuna gets tired. He's like, "Okay, I've got enough." And then, of course, Yuji says, "I think I showed you pretty much everything I wanted to anyways." And then Sukuna is obviously not happy. "Your blathering is disgusting. Say what you want to say." But he is interested in it. He wants to know what the whole point of this was. He wants to know how Yuji actually thinks and how he can actually meet him in terms of power and guts and so strong, carrying him out all of these other things that he doesn't have any sort of actual feeling about. And then, he actually explains himself. Up until recently, I thought I should simply live to fulfill my role as I understood it. I thought if I died like that, I could at least consider it a proper death. But now I feel like that's not entirely right. Walking dog, raising a family, any sort of role like that is just fine. Even if I don't have anything like that, as long as you eat shit and sleep, even if you're stuck in bed sick, even if you spend your life with no connections and nothing remains of you. More than memories made in one's image, it's within the little tiny fragments that remain, drifting off where the value of a life lies. I've never had anything to do with the ways of people die. I just couldn't ever forgive those who acted as if that value didn't exist. Sukuna, I loathe you, because that is exactly what Sukuna is. He doesn't care about anyone else's value but himself. Humans aren't tools. We aren't born with any set role. Which is to say, I don't know. I don't know whether humans are fundamentally good or evil. I could very well be doing the wrong thing here, so I thought I should at least let you see the humanity of someone other than yourself, of someone you see no value in. He's essentially trying to convince him, like, hey, people do have value, and I'm gonna force you to look at this value and understand it. And here in this panel, you can actually see Sukuna thinking about it. There's a few dots. He's like, okay, let's think about this. And then of course he says, I don't feel a thing. I understand everything you're saying, Brad. He understands it. He's thought about it. He's considering everything he has said, everything he has shown him to get to this conclusion. And yet, it stirs no emotion within me. Just as you felt when you saw how quiet this town became, you had expected it. I feel absolutely nothing. And this is so interesting, because this means that he actually remembers what he said at the start. He listened to it, he considered it, and he expected it. He knows that he's incapable of feeling these things. But he's accepted it. He's like, everyone else around me feels things about people, feels things about places, feels things about memories. I don't. And I'm okay with that. But he considers and tries to actually connect with Yuji here, using his own example at the start of the chapter. He says here, I came back here for the first time in like 10 years for a funeral, friends of my grandpa's. I wouldn't say it was a ghost town, but it did surprise me how empty the place felt. Yuji's lying here. He actually says later, actually, I guess I wasn't surprised. So he said, it surprised me how empty the space felt. So he knows that he should feel that way, right? He should feel like this is weird. Why is this a ghost town? But he actually expected it. He knew it was gonna happen. If I'm being honest, I kind of expected it. It really didn't shake me. And he seems like it almost feels like a little bit guilty. Like, oh man, maybe I should feel that way. Maybe I should have feel weird about this town being a ghost. But I don't really care. The same way as Sukuna here says, I feel absolutely nothing. He knows that he should feel something, but he doesn't. Now, of course, Sukuna is a character that has accepted this, and he's okay with this, and he's, he has other reasons to live, but he knows about this. He knows he can't feel it. And I think Yuji's making him not only realize that there's something there, but also he is making him bothered. This is why he has actually, engaged with this. He's like, maybe I can feel something if Yuji actually shows me this. No Daisa figured. Suffice to say, I'm dumbfounded by your cowardice. And this is very interesting as well. He comes back to his own way of looking at the world. Your rage towards me, your hatred, is this all it amounted to? This is what Sukuna actually values. The feelings that he invokes in people. And you can see this in this panel when it says, I didn't think you were someone who could do something this far, Okatsu Yuta, when, of course, Yuta takes over the body of Gojo. He's so impressed that he would go so far, even to do something so against his values, you know, Yuta's values, that in order to defeat him. This is what he values, right? And the fact that Yuji cannot do this is what really bothers him. What happened with that hatred he had? Where is this coming? What is this gonna amount to? Where is your moment? Where's your Yuta moment? What are you gonna do? You're doing nothing. You're showing me dumbass fucking memories to try and in some ways redeem me. That's so stupid, and he hates this, right? Of course. Now, he doesn't seem pretty disappointed or anything. He doesn't really seem angry. But then he gets to the realization, wait, you cannot be possibly be. Are you pitying me? And this is the important moment. Yuji doesn't care anymore. Is this your way of showing compassion? He, even though he does care about, you know, showing this to Sukuna, he will not falter and he will kill him. He doesn't care that Sukuna will not get redeemed in some way, or even understand them. At the end of the day, he tried. You know, he wanted to try. He wanted to give him the choice. He wanted to give him the choice for atonement. But he's not gonna let other people die because of this. Exactly, Sukuna, I can kill you. Release Fushiguro. Return to my body on, I'll spare your life. And this is when you know that Yuji has actually matured. He doesn't care. He will stop him if he needs to. But at the same time, he will indulge into what he believes is right at the same time. And this is the moment, of course, where Sukuna is fucking done, okay? This is the moment where he knows, where he gets insanely triggered about the fact that he says that you can actually kill me with this type of dogshit mentality that I completely disagree with. No, you can't. Such a gravely severe misconception. I won't stop at simply minging you to bits, brat. Right in front of your eyes, I'll slaughter each and every human being you claim to be oh so valuable. So essentially saying, hey, I'm gonna prove that your way of thinking, your way of viewing the world is incorrect, and I am more powerful, and I will win. Because at the end of the day, if he loses to Yuji here, even if he has other help from other people, he will lose his way of living, of understand the world. Sukuna is the epitome of I will be the most powerful, and I will win, and I will be happy because I only care about myself. And Yuji is the complete opposite. I will care about other people, and together we'll do the best for everyone else. And if the one who wins here will actually prove his ideology correct. This is why this fight is so important for Sukuna. Because if he loses, everything he has ever believed, every sacrifice he has ever done is completely gone out the window. So, I really think Yuji is getting inside of his head now. I really think he's insecure about it. I think he in some ways he's afraid, right? He's afraid. This is why he's so angry, right? Because he knows that it could change, right? He knows that Yuji is indeed fighting him and kind of almost winning right now. And if he loses, all of what he believes in is out the window. This is why every time Yuji is such a pain in the ass for him. This is why he gets so angry with him, because it's everything that he doesn't represent. And the actual ending of this fight will, you know, decide on who is actually right. In some ways, Yuji is way to the other side as well. He cares way too much about people. So I wonder if the way to fix this is gonna be the merger, right? Essentially merging every sorcerer, of course Sukuna as well. And that way Sukuna will finally understand what Yuji means, right? Which would be very interesting. But in my idea, probably the thing that I would do, you know, if I was gay, I guess, well, of course I'm not, but, and he probably will do something way better, but I probably would make it so one of them wins and they prove their ideology to the other one. But maybe, like for example, maybe Yuji wins, but Sukuna is still not convinced about what he stands for. He doesn't get it. And then the merger happens, and then he finally gets it by merging with Yuji in some sort of way. That would be very interesting, but I guess we'll have to say. We'll have to see. Definitely tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you think I'm wrong about anything of this, and if give you any other cool ideas out of this out of this video. It was just a little bit of an idea I had from watching other videos, like of course we saw them right here, right? Mr. 100, Alex as well. I watch all these videos and I got a bit of inspired with them, and I had to I had to make this video, right? I really liked all of these guys' beautiful videos, Alexander's as well. So I'm very I wanted to, but no one has talked about this, I don't think, and that's why I kind of wanted to make my own. But there you go. Thank you very much for watching, guys. It was very, very nice. Go subscribe to the channel for more content on this. I might actually do more anime videos because I get so passionate about them. But thank you very much for watching, guys. See you guys.